Okay, we are on, and thank you everyone for coming. Good evening. And we have our fifth BA Day Afterwork Talks podcast. And today we have very interesting speakers with us. And we will talk about BA role and competences in Ukrainian IT companies. And not only, we will talk about BAO and how to grow a cool BA team in your company. But let's start from small housekeeping. And as always, the hosts of this podcast are me, Alexander Moskalyuk, and Rainer. And Rainer is a owner of this BA Day conference and organizer. And please tell us a few words about the conference.
Yes, hello everybody. Yes, Sabine and myself, we are hosting the conference, the European BA Day, European Business Analysis Day, since 6 years, and now it's the fifth edition. And we've paused during the COVID time. Of course, this was a bit difficult because our conference started in Frankfurt as an on-premise conference. And as you can see here, this is a photo of 2023, where we still not had so many people than 2019 and 2020 before. No, 2019 was the year before Corona. We had close to 200. And here we had around 70, 80 people in Frankfurt last year. And it was quite interesting. We had the topic sustainability. And now, this time, fifth BA Day, May 16, we have the topic artificial intelligence. So we always are, let's say, on the edge topics, on the edge themes. And it's quite interesting to see what people from the industry and from the chapters and from the associations have to say about the hype trends. And yeah, it will be interesting this year as well with artificial intelligence, because it's so broad, this topic. It's not only AI for business analysis, it's as well business analysis for AI and the other way around. So you can look at it from all perspectives, and this is exactly what we want to reflect with our speakers, which we, let's say, carefully handpicked. Yeah, so the stage should be now for our colleagues from the Ukraine. So I'm really interested. Yeah, so thanks for flipping the slide. And maybe you can say some words about the sponsors, Alexander, and then provide the stage for our speakers today.
Yeah, so thanks to our sponsors, Masventa and IBO. It's both consulting companies that provide education for business analysts, project managers, and other IT specialists. So feel free to check their websites and see their what they are offering for now. But now let's switch to our guests, and we have two great and really interesting guys today. So first, KYRYLO, could you please tell a few words about yourself?
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you for having me. My name is KYRYLO. I'm a business analysis office director of the company called SoftServe. It's a quite large Ukrainian service company, and we have quite a big business analysis office. It's right now about 430 people. It was a bit more, like let's say in 2021 we had over 500. But as you are well aware of, that the war started with Ukraine, and unfortunately we had to lose some of our good talents. So anyway, something about me. I have started as business analyst at SoftServe in 2015, and I think, like, prior to that, as many of my colleagues would say, we've been doing business analysis before really knowing that it's called business analysis. So that's also kind of my story. I was working on in different companies doing like process optimization, as it was called at the time, and running some IT related initiatives. And then I realized that mostly I was doing business analysis. So as part of SoftServe, I've worked in different projects, healthcare, real estate, investments, government platforms, etc. And right now, I am leading the Office of Business Analysis in the company, basically taking care of the competence management. And as I like to say, it making SoftServe the best place for business analysts. At least this is what we try to do. And yeah, one of the tasks is making sure that the service of our business analysts is consistent throughout all the projects and of a high quality, working on boosting their performance, spreading the knowledge, and yeah, making a lot of other interesting work, I would say. I'm also certified in TOGAF as an enterprise architecture, if that's of an interest to you. So that's it about me.
Yeah, and I want to add that KYRYLO has his own Badass BA podcast.
Oh yeah.
Very famous in Ukraine. Yeah, and a lot of BAs, I think, got a lot of interesting and useful knowledge from his podcast. Yeah, and his guests. So
that is true. I did not mention it because it's like mostly in Ukrainian. Like it's like 99% in Ukrainian, so I wouldn't like advertise it for this audience. But yes, this is also true.
Yeah. So another guy is Yuri. Yuri, he's also very interesting as a specialist and a professional, and yeah, as a person. So
thank you for your kind words, Alexander, and thank you for having me. Now, you said interesting so many times that I'm actually starting believing that I'm an interesting person. So thank you for that, for the reassurance. But anyway, hello everybody. Nice to meet all of you. Actually, I'm also a business analyst, and I've been in this role for more than 11 years already. I started directly from IT business analysis as trainee and grew within the same company. It's one of the biggest outsourcing IT companies in Ukraine. And from the trainee to currently to business analysis manager to the head of business analysis team at Nix. And probably the thing well known in company is two things actually. First is that I'm building the competency matrix, the thing which will help business analysts grow within the company. And the second one is that I've done probably over 100 of pre-sales and discoveries over my career, which as I counted was about one discovery, one pre-sales per month. So yeah, I'm really eating them for breakfast. Outside of that, outside of my like 8 hours of job, I also have a business analysis podcast. That's my passion currently. And I do articles. I did business analysis digest for some time in Ukrainian. In 2022, I moved to the larger audience, to English-speaking audience, and probably most of the people from Europe and America who are South Africa who are with us today know me from that blog, Passionate BA. And also I'm a volunteer for IABA Ukraine, for example. I've been a part of the amazing group who translated the business analysis standard and glossary from BABOK from English to Ukrainian. That's a huge milestone for Ukrainian business analysis. And also outside my business analysis sort of stuff, I'm also a passionate D&D player, Dungeons and Dragons. If someone does that, drop me a message, maybe we will play together. I'm a huge heavy metal kind of person, I love that. And I just realized when we were making this presentation that any branch growing out of my ear. So that's something you might have noticed as well from the photo.
I never knew you liked heavy metal, Yuri. Like you never struck me as that type of guy who likes heavy metal. Wouldn't tell that from your appearance.
Well, I do love that. I spent probably most of 2018 and 2019 over the different rock festivals, rock concerts, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, I like heavy metal too, so sometimes you can you can listen
So we
to
should
something.
turn it into a heavy metal podcast, yeah, instead of
Yeah.
business analysis.
Yeah, probably.
But-
I might even catch Rainer in Germany this year, as I'm planning to go to the one of the rock concerts on the West
Yeah.
German. So probably
Hope you
I will
guys
try
are
to.
hope you guys are tolerant because I'm a big fan of jazz and
Oh,
and and jazz. Maybe we can I can give you a quick start. Jazz is about improvising. And if you need to improvise, then jazz musicians and business analysts they have something in common because you have to quickly adapt to situations. Because
Exactly.
some stakeholders, if you are in a meeting, as it would be a gig on the stage, some stakeholders are hijacking the stage and they are trying to turn around your meeting and things like that. And then it's always a situation where you have to probably get a bit louder with your instrument so that the people understand you and that you correct the direction where the meeting is going to.
Yeah, totally. And I want to remind you that all four of us will be speakers at the BA Day conference that will be in May. And now you have a great opportunity to use this coupon to get to a 20% discount to the ticket price and buy the tickets to the conference. And talking about this conference in Europe, unfortunately, because of this Russian aggression, a lot of Ukrainian BAs moved to Europe, and there we realized that there is some difference between Ukrainian and European IT companies. Guys, can you tell me about what is your what do you think about? Is there any difference? What is the difference? And how is it different IT in Europe and in Ukraine?
well,
Yuri, or
Kirill, if you want to start, I thought you
Nah,
would
just
love to.
go ahead. Go ahead. I think you have a better overview, at least on the European side of that question. So let's hear it from you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, maybe like the hands-on experience, basically on Hungary, because it's software, you have offices all across the Europe, so you probably had that overview even before. But what I see from now, for now at this moment, that it's very different. So Ukraine is most of Ukrainian IT is major part, probably like 80%, if statistics comes correctly to my mind, it's outsourcing. All of other things are product and outside. So we have this specific model that IT lives in, right? And when we get to the Europe, most of the companies, most of the businesses are product-based or service-based. So most of analysts here are more focused on product, more on a product owner side probably, or a technical product manager side, this kind of thing. That's at least what I see from Hungary, which we're currently based on. France, Germany, Rainer would probably correct me here, Spain, most of the analysts are either process analysts or product owners, so a bit on the product side.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree on that. And like, I'm not sure if the numbers are correct, like if it's 80% or it's a different number. But yeah, definitely Ukraine is one of like the biggest outsourcing hubs in Europe, I would say. So that's definitely like the major portion of our business analysts. We do have some local and also like other product companies which work in Ukraine, and they have also like some certain fair share of business analysts. I would also mention like the third group, which is I think like the lowest portion of those business analysts, that they work in banks, because right now we have like a lot of I would say big Ukrainian banks which are really like on the cutting edge of the technology. They're really like technological. I'm not sure if you know about Monobank, but that's like one of, I would say, the best digitalized bank in maybe in the world, I would say, but definitely in Europe. So that's also like one layer of BAs that we have, and they have very, like, I would say, unique and their own way of doing things and working on the projects. And yeah, as you mentioned, Yura, we, like, at SoftServe, when we started to grow rapidly, I would say it was around like 2018, 2019, we were hiring a lot of people in Europe, in Poland, in Bulgaria. We are now hiring people in Romania. And I was interviewing like a lot of these BAs, not like some of those BAs. And what came to my mind is, like, most of those people, they had experience in banks, yeah, either banks or like financial institutions or like some enterprises. I would say, like, at least to my mind, that was something that was more typical for BAs working like in Europe. But as I said, I don't have a big like overview on the market, but yeah, that's kind of my take on that.
Rainer, what?
True.
Okay,
Oh yeah, I
sorry.
just wanted to add a few sentences there that I've been interviewing a lot of people not from Ukraine for the past year, and it's remarkably how different the views are. It's like the completely different business analysis schools. I thought that there are just 3 or 4, like American Canadian, IIBA, then it's BCS from UK. It's also IREP, which is also kind of a European German school. So 3 main directions. But it seems like that people from South Africa, from Spain, from Poland, from Myanmar, the latest candidate was from Myanmar, actually they have very different views on business analysis. So it makes me think that there are more schools and more approaches for business analysis out in the world. And I'm definitely going to explore that in future.
Rainer, what can you say from your point of view? Yeah, have you interacted with Ukrainian IT companies or some other outsourced companies, and do you see any difference? Sorry for for asking. So yeah,
very complicated question. Yeah.
No,
this
I
is a
was just
surprise. Yeah.
coffee. Yeah, I have worked with so many people. I've worked with Ukrainians, I've worked with Indians, I've worked with the whole, let's say, European countries. And what the Germans do normally, they kind of differentiate between offshoring and nearshoring. So what do we mean by that? If we talk about offshoring, it's mostly India. And I was working with teams from India, and usually I had let's say 2, 3 proxy. I always called them proxies because they were my communication focal points in Düsseldorf. I was working for Vodafone and for other companies, and I had an E.ON, the big energy company, and I had my 2, 3 BAs. They were acting POs, meaning product owners, and there was a team of let's say 15, 16 people working in Hyderabad, and there was always a need to specify down to the details, meaning it was hard to get let's say rough requirements like user stories, what fits on a post-it, and send it to India, because you need to write at least a detailed design to get something back which you could accept. And so this is I experienced this as a kind of difference with nearshoring, because I was working with people from Slovakia, Czech Republic, and Slovakia. I think it's Slovakia, and Bratislava, and And I've worked many years ago with developers from the Ukraine, and from the culture point of view, they are more similar to the precision, let's say to the German precision. Indian people are need to learn this. Probably you have some Indians who are working already 5, 6, 7 years in Germany, and they have kind of assimilated. They know how the German stakeholders are. But Ukrainian people from Slovakia, from Czech Republic, from Poland, they have a kind of immediate understanding how the Germans are ticking. And okay, I naturally I can't speak for the Germans, but Swiss and Austrians probably are similar. Dutch and French and Spanish, yeah, it's they are probably different. Belgian people are different. Maybe Christiane can say something. We have people from Belgium, but if you work together with people from the Eastern European countries, it's mostly not a problem at all. The only thing which we really appreciate, not me, but many stakeholders, if you speak German.
Yeah, and knowing local language helps a lot. Yeah, in stakeholder communications, and I think there is sometimes cultural differences. Yeah, help or make some complicate things sometimes. But let's switch from a cultural point of view to some special skills and competences. What do you think, KYRYLO, about business analysis office role in IT company, and what does it help to improve the quality of the BA job, or yeah, the skills?
Well, what do you expect me to say as a business analysis office director?
No, it doesn't help at all. It's just a title.
It's not
to get more
important.
money.
Great position, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you a story. Like our business analysis office was established in 2012, so it's like more than 10 years ago. And when it started, it was like maybe, I don't know, like 20 business analysts in the company. And back then, like no one really understood like what's the value of BA. Yeah, but like for some projects they were introduced, and the company saw like a great value in that. They saw that the project were more effective, that the clients were more happy with that, and then like the company thought, yeah, let's hire more BAs. Yeah, let's increase the popularity of this direction in the company. But when you are hiring a lot of people, and we grew, like I said, like from that time like to 500 people, yeah, from 20 to 500. But when you hire a lot of people, it's very easy to lose like consistency, because people come with their different backgrounds, with their different experiences, and they have all their own things, all their own vision, how to do things in a proper way, how to be BA, how to do this job. And this is where business analysis office comes to play. So business analysis office has several like main, I would say, values for the company. And first of all is making sure that all the BAs, it doesn't matter if there are 20 of them or like 500 of them, they are doing and acting in the best interest of our client and performing in a similar, I would say, best practice way. Yeah. So the task of business analysis office is to create a certain standard of what a BA should know, what skills he should possess, how he should like approach a certain task, and what type of like documents or artifacts they should create, and make it consistent throughout the company, and also teach people who come with their different backgrounds or with lack of experience to become better BAs and to deliver exceptional services. And for company, like for service companies, quality of service is one of the most important drivers for getting more clients or expanding their business. So I would say business analysis, or just in general, competence offices play a huge role in developing a certain, I would say, competency, and in that way developing a company with like giving a better, I would say, service, better quality, etc. So that's in a nutshell, but I can talk long about that. If you want me to continue, just let me know.
Yeah. From my point of view as a BA, I worked for different IT companies in Ukraine, and there is a difference working for a company that has BA office, business analysis office, and where it is not. Because if the company has a business analysis office, it allows each business analyst to understand their professional growth path. So you have understanding what you should do, what should you learn, and to become better business analyst, to go to the next stage. And on the other hand, you always have the support in your projects. Yeah, you always know what to do. You always know where to, you can ask when you have some questions about requirements, about business analysis, about business anything else. Yuri, what can you add? Yeah, as a person who builds business analysis competence in the company.
Oh, thank you for asking. Actually, the definition of BAU might differ probably from company to company because, well, having a community of practice sometimes also considered like having a business analysis office, like people exchanging ideas, people making peer reviews, probably cross reviews, all that kind of stuff, helping each other, maybe mentoring program. But maybe KYRYLO may add more about what's BAU is. But to my understanding, BAU is a structure when you have people who are specifically dedicated to building business analysis competencies, who are dedicated for auditing business analysis processes in the projects or other initiatives, who are maybe dedicated to reviewing internal business processes. So it's more of that. But answering your question, I believe that the core idea of business analysis office is to streamline the competency. Actually, we have a lot of competition in at least Ukrainian market right now within the business analysis. I'm not sure how it's in Europe, how it's in America, but in Ukraine, the competition is rising. It's been rising even before the war. Now it's even more there, more competition. And business analysts have to excel in what they do. They can't rely on what they learned during their traineeship program, right? A couple of techniques, some basics, and build experience on top of that. What many business analysts actually do, not only in Ukraine, but all over the world. Sometimes they don't recognize the importance of going through the certification preparation process, right? It's not the certification which is important, but the process. So I believe that people behind the business analysis office are those who are responsible to helping people excel and motivate them to excel and push even further. Well, at least that's my idea of BAU.
Can I add a little bit? I saw this.
Yeah,
this question there.
Please.
This question there in the chat, and it kind of triggered me. So from Yevgen Klukin. So hi Yevgen, nice to see you here. So the question is, other than consistency, what are other values BAU can bring to the company? And this is kind of a flashback from my talks with the management, yeah, because they always want more. Yeah, okay, you have the consistency, but what else can you bring? And I mean, it's not only the consistency, but it's the high quality, yeah, because you can be consistently bad, and this is not what we are aiming to, yeah. So it's the first of all, it's the high quality of services. So introducing like best practices, like if whatever task you're doing as a BA, here's the best practice. This is the best way how to approach that task in that particular like context, yeah, like with that stakeholders in that domain with that methodology that we're using on the project. And us as BAU is kind of a center of competency where you can come for and take any sort of absolutely free of charge consultation, how you can act in a certain situation as a business analyst. So that's like another value, to have them sort of like a back office, you know, which can help you to deal with stuff. The other thing that we do, we also like we aim for our people to grow. So we do a certain like regular evaluation of our BAs and making sure that they are progressing, because not, you know, just delivering them and saying, hey, this is the best way you can do it, just use this approach and everything will be good. It doesn't mean that they will necessarily take it and do it in the right way. So you have to do a certain evaluation of their performance from time to time, and plan some career development, or at least suggest some ways that the people can excel in what they do. So that's another value. And of course, we can join some projects and act like I would say, we call it maybe a firefighter or something. That if we have a certain problem related to business analysis processes, or like general activities on the project, we can join the project, we can help to solve that problem, or at least like making sure that we are doing the best as a company that that can solve this issue at this point. So, but actually, a consistency of a high-level services is actually a very good value, and that's something that would indirectly turns into company revenue. Yeah, you cannot map that to some numbers, unfortunately, and that's the problem with such offices. But indirectly, it impacts the revenue which company gets in a big way.
Rainer, what can you say about business analysis offices in European countries? Do you have one in the company you work for now, or maybe you know the companies that have their offices?
To be honest, I've rarely seen offices which can be compared to project management offices. What I mostly see is communities, communities of practice and things like that. I was running into a BA Center of Excellence, BACOE, in Luxembourg, and it was a bank, and it was a joint venture with the Royal Bank of Canada. So no wonder, because Canada is the IIBA country, and they were highly developed. They had a Business Analysis Center of Excellence, which you can compare to a kind of PMO for business analysis. And it was the remarkable thing was that it wasn't a part of IT, nor a part of IT, neither of business. It was hanging in the middle, and that was an ideal position, because this community or center of excellence was directly reporting to the upper management, and it was not paid or instructed by the IT and not by the business. And this, for me, this was a perfect setup. But I have only seen it once in Luxembourg, and I've never seen it in Germany or other countries. And I have considered this as the best setup I've ever seen, and I would recommend it to everybody, because this puts the BAs and the BA community in a kind of independence. And a BA should be a free thinker. He or she should be free to think about business value, IT feasibility, constraints with IT architecture or enterprise architecture. So many things come together. And if you are kind of controlled by the IT, then it can be that you have a very powerful enterprise architect besides you who's controlling you. Or if you are coming out of the business, then the business will tell you, hey, I want business value. I don't care about how the IT people develop this. Give me the cheapest and the best and the most valuable solution, and please tomorrow. And so you have very different, let's say, strategies on implementing solutions and on creating long-term sustainable value for the company. And yes, so again, short summary of what I said. Mostly there is no office. Mostly there is only a loose collection of people, a group, and mostly group is not very powerful because they don't have an official mandate. That's my experience.
True, and I wish there were more people from UK on this call, actually, on this webinar. And I had an opportunity to have a conversation with many of UK-based business analysts. And what I learned from them, they mostly have communities of practices as well. The word, like the sentence business analysis office, were rather unfamiliar or something which is not like, very widely used. And even the amount of people, like 500 BAs, 400, 100 BAs, it's a huge community for most of the people I have encountered. Most of business analysts there have like 10 people, 5 people, 20 people at most. So yeah, on that part of the continent, it looks like this. Well, from brief experience I had talking to people from there.
My 5 cents on community also. So we have like one of the other like tasks of office of such a kind, and you may call it a COE, you may call it BAO. Yeah, it's like whatever institutional thing it has. The thing that, and what we also strive to do is to build the community, like internally, externally, around our values, around our culture, and what we think is best for the direction. And what we noticed, like working, I don't know, maybe from 5 years ago, we had large accounts in our companies where we had like, I don't know, like saying 10, 20 BAs working on one account. And there was like a situation where they were working isolated, like they're working on the same account, but they do not communicate with each other. They rarely meet. They don't, interact outside of some like very isolated cases. And we had a different example where people also working on the same account, but they communicate constantly. We had an like experiment that people were working in the same room. I was part of that community which was built around that. So they put all BAs like in one BA cockpit or whatever you want to call it. And around that communication and around that continuous interaction, great results were met. Yeah, so we had a lot of like enhancements to the product. We had a lot of enhancements to the processes which were active on that project. And just by communicating, by sharing ideas, by like sharing our like, I don't know, troubles or problems that we had in a certain like with communication with some team or a client or whatever, just by sharing that experience and like brainstorming on how we can, tackle that, we had great results. And this is what we also thought, yeah, let's build more of such communities. Let's build more of such communities on our accounts, on our projects. And whenever we succeeded to build such a small group of BAs as a small community, we had much better results. I'm not sure how it exactly works. Yeah, I cannot create a formula for that, but it's definitely something that we observed. And this is also one of the great directions of BAO, creating communities. And actually that's a great thing. So having conferences, podcasts, webinars where people can join and just communicate, collaborate, this works very well. I really love this.
Yeah, I will join to KYRYLO and say that creating these communities of business analysts where they can share their experience, their knowledge, it boosts their growth. Yeah, it helps them to grow. They see people who they can go after and who can support them there. And also, in my experience, BAO can help protect business analysts from tasks they should not do sometimes, and also promote the competence of business analysis in the company and help to use it more. Because I think it's still not. We don't use all the potential we have in business analysis in our companies, and there is still a place to grow. But let's switch a little bit to some practical examples of how we can build these great business analysts here and great specialists. And there was a comment from Rainer. Yeah, I think that if we use IBA framework and IBA recommendations for Center of Excellence, yeah, in my experience, we used combination of IBA and PMI recommendations to build the individual development plan and matrix for BAs, and it worked well. It helped to structure this process. What can you say? Let's start with Yuri this time.
Okay, sure. So basically, I wasn't the one who started the community of praxis at Nix. It was my boss, our VP of Business Analysis, well, he started by creating community of praxis. People just having conversation once a week about experience they had, all this kind of stuff. Later, it grew into the when we got more business analysts to the company, when the company grew, we started making articles, conferences internally, some not webinars, but how do you call it when you meet offline? Lectures? Oh yeah, lectures. Thank you. The word eluded me. All that kind of stuff. Later, we started building community outside Nix. You probably, people from Ukraine, you remember Think BA conference, which was held in Kharkiv for a couple of times. Probably visited that. And with years, our community grew for more than 100 people. And I've started a practice called circles of knowledge. It's when you have a group of people who would want to discover more on very specific topics, for example, matrices or diagrams or BPMN or UI UX. I got that idea from Spotify Tribes, if you heard of them, maybe. It's like a horizontal type of connecting people. I failed spectacularly with that. It didn't work. But we still work on the lectures, sharing knowledge, writing articles. That works for us. And now we build in the competence matrix. So that's probably our way. We don't have BAO as is yet. We have community of praxis. We have probably center of excellence because we have this line structure of BAs under the same person. But we are yet to build business analysis office. So probably our way would give you any insights, those who listen to us, how to build that.
I got a question. Why do you think it failed, this idea with the squads and circles of knowledge?
Well, my conclusion was that it didn't have direct practical usage of what we got. That's first thing, even though we discussed very specific practical questions. And the second part was that it was a volunteering kind of thing. So we didn't have time dedicated for those circles of knowledge. So they tried to carve time in their working schedule together to work on some topic, that kind of thing. So these were my two conclusions. Probably you'd have another idea why it didn't work.
No, I mean, it probably is the right conclusion because the reason I'm asking is that the point I'd like to make that when you build something, you really require enthusiasts, people who would be, fond of the idea and which will go an extra mile and deliver that. Because when you start in something like a competency office in the company, you're usually not a large company at this point. Yeah, you have to grow with the company, and at this point, you never have like investments so that the management would just say, hey, you guys, your only job would be to build a business analysis office, let's say. Forget about acting as BAs on the project, forget about like doing discoveries and pre-sales, concentrate on that. You would never have that. So you will have to do both things. You would have to work as a BA on a project. You would have to join pre-sales, discoveries, and then if you have some time, then you work on that. task. And if you are not an enthusiast of this idea, and if you don't have such people around you, it's very hard to build something like that. So I would say that's like one of the success factors for that. The other, like Alexander mentioned, standards. Yeah, this is also like would be probably a request from management, like, hey, we need to build standards of how we work. We need to have a consistency of our artifacts or the way we do things. Let's focus on that. And you can use like IABA framework, for example, as a basis. This is actually what we did. But it's very important also to understand the goals of the company. Where do we want to grow as a company? What clients we want to target, or how do we want to develop? And this is something which you need to learn before you start, I would say, like tailoring your BA profile in a way. Yeah, because you have to know like what kind of BA would bring the best value to your company. And after that, you can like use any kind of framework, but you use that knowledge to build the exact framework. And one cool thing that we had in SoftServe, and I was also not like part of creating BAO at SoftServe. I joined later, like a couple of years after it was created. But we had this internal conference, let's say, where it was a real like internal conference where we joined all the company, like all company BAs traveled to Lviv and had several like trainings, had several of lectures, had several of workshops, and then had a huge party afterwards. And that was a very like great and bonding experience. And I know that people who are still in the company from that time, they always talk about that, like with a lot of heartwarming like memories. And that was also, and that was great that the company was ready to invest in such kind of activity at that time. And that was something that worked really well. Yeah. So just put talented people together, put enthusiasts around that, and that would work out somehow.
Yeah, totally agree. Rainer, what do you think? What from your experience? How it works for European companies?
What exactly do you mean? The
building the great business analyst inside the company, or growing your specialists. Do you have any experience with any company that did it?
You mean building careers for BAs?
The career path, some trainings, yeah, some standards, BA standards inside the company.
Yeah, so I mean, my company or our company, Sabine and my company, is busy with business analysis training since more than 12 years, 13 years, I think. And what we do is we build an own path for BAs, meaning we do not.
I think Rainer is frozen. Let's wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go.
It was the most interesting part.
Yeah, like that cartoon said.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Frozen.
Okay.
Well, maybe while Ryan is.
Alexander,
Yeah,
while we're
Christiane,
waiting
yeah.
for Rainer, maybe
Okay.
I can make a few remarks.
Great. Hi, Christiane.
Hi. Give me a sign when Rainer is back. Belgium, I'm in Belgium. Belgium used to have is my sound okay?
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Belgium used to have a colony in Africa. It was called the Belgian Congo. And there were people doing IT there in the 60s, and they were programming. And then they realized that the Belgian programmers had another imagination than the African programmers. And then they defined standards for analysis and programming. So if you work with people from far away, you must take into account that this can happen. But those standards, they lived until the year 2000. So they lived for several decades. Another point, I worked with people from India some time ago, and that was fine. There was nothing wrong with their knowledge, but you had to speak slow English with them. And also, you have to take into account if you explain something to the Indians and you ask them, do you understand? They will always say yes, because that's polite. So if you really want to know whether they have understood you, you need to ask your question in a different way. There is no problem. We had no problem with their technical knowledge, but in their culture, it's normal to always say, yes, yes, it's okay. They don't ask questions. I was thinking of something else. Well, which one shall I take first? Yes. This is wrong. Business analysis has something to do with business processes, and there are people who are working on business process management. And there was a professor in Germany at the University of Saarbrücken, and he invented EPC, ereignisgesteuerte Prozesskette, event-driven process chain, way back in 1984. First the method and then the tools. The tools are called ARIS, ARIS, and they still exist. They are now part of the company Software AG. So I think as business analysts, we need to keep an eye on the people who do business process management and to see if there are any tools that can be useful. But careful, the ARIS tools are very sophisticated. You can drown in there if you don't have somebody to help you with it. They have become so large, but the events were very, very interesting. And I spoke to people who were working in a Belgian bank, and they were trying to introduce ARIS, and they had created a little group that was labeled organization. So what they were working on was the organization of the bank. How is the bank organized? And then it grew slowly, step by step, and then they made their models with ARIS. That's another point. Another thing, if you speak to the people from IIBA, you have to be aware how they define a business analyst. Sometimes when people talk about an analyst, they mean somebody who's designed software that supports the business process. But at IIBA, when they talk about the business analyst, it's somebody who talks about business processes and maybe even strategy, but does not necessarily know IT, and it's not part of his or her task to talk to the IT people. So when you talk to the people in the group IIBA, you have to ask them, first of all, to be precise. What do you mean when you talk about a business analyst? So now I know when I talk to IIBA people, I have to tell them, I focus on software design. I don't do strategy.
Yeah. It's valid points, and we have Rainer back. So thank
Is he
you,
back?
Christian. It was interesting. Yeah, Rainer is
Okay.
back. Rainer, are you with us?
Yeah. Sorry for dropping
No
out.
worries at all.
My network was just let's say it needed a break. So
It's tired.
yes. So thanks for this, Christian. Very interesting. Yeah, it's always a question, what is the definition of a business analyst, and what is a business analyst doing? And what I wanted to say is we are always looking at a BA as a known role, independent from other roles. What I've seen at Volkswagen Consulting, they have a known consulting section, is that they have said there is a career path which starts as a BA, as a business analyst, and then if the BA has gathered a certain maturity, he or she can become a project manager. I was so upset when I saw this on the page that I tried to contact the responsible lady. It was not a marketing lady, it was really a head of something, but I couldn't manage to get her. I couldn't get hold of her because it was completely, sorry, bullshit. You cannot turn a BA. The A stands for analyst. A BA is an analyst. and the PM is a manager. And an analyst and a manager are two different persons. An analyst is able to go deep into the details and analyze things. And the manager is usually not going into the details because he's managing people. And that's really a difference. Of course, a PM should have BA capabilities, and a BA should have PM capabilities. Maybe there can be stand-ins if one is on annual leave and things like that. Yes, fine. But you never should do and should create a career path where the two types of people are mixed. You should give a chance to the BAs to develop to, let's say, senior analysts or strategic analysts, coming from the solution analyst to strategic analyst. And the PM can grow, of course, in his, let's say, channel, leading small projects and later leading enterprise projects. This is really a paradigm we have at Masventa, that we do not mix these career building paths.
It's interesting point of view. Yeah, KYRYLO.
100%. Now, I'm just wanted to say, like, I'm with you on that, Rainer. And this is like a very old vision that we used to have in Ukraine as well. That like when you if you are a BA and you like be good enough, you know, you can become a PM. But it's like very, very old fashioned, I would say, and I wouldn't expect. And it's for the smaller companies as well. And seeing something like that in a huge enterprise, was it Volkswagen or something like that? That's ridiculous. And to add to what Christiane just mentioned about different focuses of business analysts, we also like have that vision in SoftServe. And as part of BAO, yeah, we created several different profiles. So we have like a generic BA who is like for our business, yeah, that's generic, working with IT products. But we also have like a process-focused business analyst and a certain standard for that kind of business analysts who are more aimed to optimizing business processes. And we have a lot of analysts working internally in our company, optimizes our processes as well, so that we have also people like that. And the third profile was like data-focused people who like also, of course, work with IT. Like, you cannot imagine an IT project without IT, but these people are like focused on like really data-centric initiatives where like data is like the key objective of the whole project. So we had that, and this is also to the question like what value BAO can bring. So that's also a thing that we create, and we kind of develop
thing,
the
yeah.
focus.
Yeah, you still need people telling you that business analyst is not a project manager. People still get confused.
Yeah, that is outrageous.
Okay, so we're getting out of time, and let's have it was up an hour, and
Yeah,
let's
passed so
summarize a little bit. Yeah. So KYRYLO, what do you think about BAO? Should it be in every company?
It's the best thing that can happen to every company. It should have it, and yeah, actually, like it depends. Yeah, it depends on the values that you have in your company and like the idea of the strategy that you have in your company. Not every company needs BAO. Yeah, not every company needs not every company is aspired to grow as well, right? Some companies are good with like the way they are at this point. So I wouldn't go as far as saying like everyone needs business analysis office. But if you're planning to grow and if you're planning to have, I would say 50 plus business analysts, I would really advise of thinking of creating such an organization within your company, and give and like find people with enthusiasm who are ready to support and develop that direction, and give them authority, give them funds. Yeah, let them do this work and do not distract them too much on the projects. Of course, we understand that we need to also like take part in projects. Me myself, I also sometimes do join some initiatives, but yeah, like this thing needs to be built with a certain support of higher management, and if it works out, you will have great results in your company.
Yuri, what about you? Will you create BAO in your company you work for?
Well, first of all, enough bump to the time. We could take all the time we need. Well, and second, I believe that as the company grows, as more people become business analysts and join the company, you should up your game like step by step. Start easy with a community of practice, with a few people doing, like sharing their experience. Then you can go have a specific person responsible for this business analyst. And actually, I believe that you don't need a BAO as a unit specifically before you reach 100 people or so, because BAO is a set of people dedicated to growth, and business wouldn't have probably investing into separate people until you produce enough cash flow as a unit. So probably above 100 is the time to think about BAO. Before that, it's center of excellence, community of practice, just a few people exchanging ideas during the beer, having a beer, something like that.
And Rainer, what can you say, about our topic today?
Yeah, so first of all, it's really interesting that that we are a kind of global or European community, because there's not so much difference in thinking, and this leads me to the to the goal that we should work more internationally. We should bring down the borders. The common language is English, and so if we are working in international teams, this is mostly better than if the people are only coming from one community. And I would encourage you to try to work in Germany or in other European countries. There are so many companies where English is the leading language, and you are all perfect in English. So let's go, let's try it.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Again, just a small reminder that all four of us and even Christiane, we will be speakers at the fifth European BA Day. You have this coupon and the opportunity to get 20% discount on tickets. So do it now to listen another interesting topics from KYRYLO, from Yuri, from Rainer, from Christiane, from me. We will talk about AI, and we will see each other on 16th of May.
Yes, and you should use the coupon code, because you cannot pronounce it. Scout 5.
I will copy it in the chat so you can just copy paste it.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Right.
Thank you very
for
much.
having us,
Cool.
and see you
Yeah,
at the
thank you. It
conference.
was great.
It's been
Yeah,
a pleasure.
Thank you.
thank you very much. Yeah, bye
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye bye.